Thank you all for being here. What an incredible moment to witness. Yes! On behalf of our staff and our board and our donors and all of our community partners, I'm honored to welcome you today to the construction launch of the State Employees Credit Union Hope Center for One Place. I think I know everyone here, but I am Dawn Rochelle, and I'm honored to serve as the Chief Executive Officer for this amazing work. This is an event that we hope that you will leave just knowing the gratitude that we have for all of you. If Ann and I can get through this without crying, it's going to be quite the miracle. Anyone who has served in a leadership role knows that there's a team of people who help to make this vision happen. So while you're only going to hear from a few of us today, know that we stand up here recognizing that we just get to stand up here today. Because there's a team of people, to include my staff that were pivoting as of 6 a.m. this morning, and all of the city crew and everything else to move us inside. And I think it's just a reminder, right, of who's really in control. In my faith, our God. So thank you all again for being here, even in the rain. So I am going to continue with faith, because when I look at how we've arrived at this moment, it's only been by God's design. What started with a simple question of how can we and our services be more sustainable, to now drive in and see construction happening. I videoed it yesterday when I passed by. There was this little brush clearing thing. I guess I'm going to learn some of these terms, right? I was like, woo! To now see that starting. And it is a trauma-informed, state-of-the-art space for our children and our families and our community. This has only been through God's guidance and grace, because as we all know as leaders, along the way, there's always a lot of no's, but we also know in retrospect, it creates the greater yes. As leaders, we take a lot of early morning texts, as I've already referenced this morning. We come home late. We need to take out food when we had planned a dinner. We process on calls longer than expected, as Henry and Matt can attest. And sometimes we just forget things because this work is really our calling. Before I get to others, I want to first recognize my family. I would not be in this space without the love and grace of my husband, Henry, our daughter, Taylor, and our son-in-law, Chris. It is because I am a mom to my Taylor that I started this journey, and what I want for all children, families in this community. Some of you that have heard me speak, thank you. Because you've heard me reference these 4 areas that I actually learned in my journey with Rotary. And thank you to my club members that are here today. I look around and you've surprised me, so thank you. But in order for human problems to be solved, there are 4 things that must be present. We must have government, we must have advocacy, we must have business, and we must have philanthropy. I, again, have learned this through Rotary, and this project has only reinforced it. The need for expansion of services to serve children in our community is well documented. We are one of the youngest demographics in the United States. We have the highest birth rate per capita. All you have to do is look in any store, any restaurant, any church, and you see an ever-growing population of children. And we feel the pain of children and families that do not have access to child care, mental health services, and victim services when something has gone wrong in their life. In our 25-year history, we have always served as a convener of services, first in the early childhood arena, and then in the child victim arena. Our organization represents advocacy, And we hope that all of you will take some moments before you leave today to visit some of the programs and services that our staff have set up for you to visit inside. We are just so honored to serve this community, and we want you to experience the vision of where we are and also where we're going. As a military community, we recognize the urgency to create what is needed for families in the time that you call Onslow County your home. We know that force readiness depends on family readiness, and we are honored to have representatives of our military with us today that include Colonel Adolfo Garcia and his wife Terry, Commanding Officer of Marine Corps Installations East. Thank you. Would you wave to make sure? Yeah, we're appreciative of you here. Thank you. Captain Kevin Brown and his wife Tiffany, Commander, Naval Hospital, Camp Lejeune. Serving child victims means that we interface with local government from all jurisdictions of law enforcement, civilian, military, federal, state, local. We also interact with social services and mental health and so many other first responders in this community. We have several representatives here from what we call our multidisciplinary team that ensure if something has happened to a child, that we work together to make it a seamless process so that the child and family can begin to heal and the district attorney has what is needed to prosecute. So that's a great segue. So I want to recognize District Attorney Ernie Lee that is with us today and has been at every meeting since the very beginning. Our Sheriff Chris Thomas, a long-standing partner. Also is Jamesetta Hardison with us as well. She is our mental health provider, so she's probably serving clients, but she has been with us since the very beginning. Mike Williams, NCIS. He is our supervisory special agent representing NCIS, and I saw a lot of other partners with us today. I can't wait for you to see this space that's been created. Yes. Our district administrator for the 4th Judicial District, serving our Guardian Ad Litem program, Lori McLean. Also, other department heads with us today, Tondria Leach, who's with our Peers Family Development Center. Thank you. And also, our former Sheriff Hans Miller, who has been with us since his days as an NCIS agent. These individuals and so many more that I didn't call the name for know that you are all recognized in this work. You really represent a truly collaborative model that creates hope for children. In the work that we do, the 100 counties hold jurisdiction over services for child care and for child victim services. Our work since we were established has been to augment these services that the county provides. Government is one part of what makes help happen when you need it. And we are so proud that we serve our community that we have mentioned here already. We have representatives from Onslow County government with us, to include our Vice Chairman of the County Commissioners, Robin Knapp. Thank you, Robin. Who is a former NCIS agent who has used our services. Yes. Commissioner Royce Bennett. I saw Royce come up. Thank you, Royce. Commissioner Lisa Carpenter. Commissioner Paul Buchanan. Was he able to arrive? Please clap. Yep. Commissioner Walter Scott. And I received a message this morning, Chairman Tim Foster wasn't able to be with us, but has certainly been an open and committed partner to this process. So thank you. All right. So one of the key government entities that has supported our work from the very beginning is the City of Jacksonville, from the creation of a suicide task force to the creation of a child abuse task force. The city was the first to approve funding for our child victim services. Knowing the value of children and the need of a trauma-informed space, the mayor, staff, and council has been entrepreneurial in their partnership with One Place. We have several members of the council and staff with us today. Councilman Bob Warden, who you'll hear from in just a second. Councilman, yeah. Councilman Brian Jackson, did he appear? Yep, he's been with us. I know that I saw Councilman Logan Sosa with us. Yep. See, I can't see you right in front of me. Councilwoman Cindy Edwards. And I do want to acknowledge Mayor Sammy Phillips, Mayor Pro Tem Jerry Bittner, Councilwoman Dr. Angela Washington, who could not be with us today, but have been so supportive and integral to this project. I also want to recognize our city manager, Josh Ray, who I see standing right there. And also our deputy city manager, Ron Massey, if he's with us today as well. Your staff, to include this morning, have been tremendous. So thank you. Thank you. So again, we are deeply appreciative for the city's belief in our work, our services, and this project to approve a substantial investment of $1 million over the next 3 years. I would, yep. So I would now like to call forward Councilman Bob Warden to give some remarks.
Thank you, Dawn. I'm here proudly representing not only the mayor, who couldn't be here, as she previously mentioned, but the city council and the staff, the city staff, as well as the citizens of Jacksonville. And thank you all for the honor. You know, when this thing was being set up, Raymond called me and wanted to talk about this thing, and I thought, you know, she was trying to coordinate the time with me, you know, figuring I might have a meeting maybe with the governor or the president or something. It turns out all she asked me was, what time was my morning nap? So I've never been good at understanding women, but I think she was trying to tell me I'm getting kind of old. So, you know, it takes the old saying that it takes a village to raise children, and I think this is certainly true here. You know, one of the things that we do is provide services for our citizens. Well, guess what? We can't do it alone. It takes partners. And something else that was said a little earlier by Dawn to me, she said, you know, I asked her how she got in this business. She said, I just listen. I said, well, that sounds like my job, one of my jobs, mine and Logan's and Cindy's and everybody else, all the commissioners. Their job is to listen to the citizens. And so Chief Yaniero came to several of our council meetings, council workshops, and started talking about the importance of what these people were doing, in particular the Child Advocacy Center. So we listened, and when they had a need for some money, he came to us and he helped sell us on the idea that we need to invest in this process. You know, somebody might ask, why did we give money to a non-city group? We didn't give any money. We didn't give them a dime. We're investing money. We're investing money in our children and in our community, and we expect a dividend. We know that it will pay dividends today and in the future. And I'm just real proud that we're part of this. Don, I know I didn't read a single word you had here.
Your prerogative, sir.
She had it in, I noticed all the other pages are in little letters, but mine was real big. So anyway, thank you for allowing us to be a participant in this, and we wish you and your staff, your great staff, thank you all for what each and every one of you guys do every day. You do make this place, not only Jacksonville, but Onslow County, a better place to live, and thank you.
Thank you. So while Raleigh can seem a world away at times, we have true representation of our needs in our community. Senator Michael Lazar could not be with us today, but he has been a true champion for our services from his time as Mayor Pro Tem to now representing Onslow in the North Carolina Senate. So let's give him a round of applause so when he sees this later. In the House of Representatives, we also have George Cleveland, who's always been a phone call away. He's always been a present face at events and is clear that Onslow County and children matter to him. From the days of his beloved Nancy being present at some of our first public events, you have been a consistent presence when needed, and we thank Representative Cleveland for always being a part of the day when we need him. So thank you, Representative Cleveland. Representative Phil Sheppard, who shares representation of Onslow County. You just make us all smile. That's why I sighed. Because you have led what has become the turning point for this project. When you meet Representative Sheppard, you know that Onslow County matters. The food matters, the people matter, we all matter. Leading substantial investments in this project from the North Carolina General Assembly, this project was launched in 2021. Ann and I can remember, we looked at each other and went, okay, I think we're in a capital project now. And when we knew that construction costs had grown, he led our delegation in listening and securing additional funding that was just approved in the 2023 North Carolina budget. What I always appreciate about Representative Sheppard is his ethical and faith-based leadership. And with that, would you join me in welcoming him to the podium to say a few words?
First, I'd like to thank Dawn because she's been one of those that's, she reminds me of a mayor in Swansboro that he calls me all the time with needs. And Dawn, ever since I've been a representative, she's called me and she's informed me about One Place, Partnership for Children at that time, and all the good work they're doing. So it's good to be here. Thank you. Thank your staff. Thank all of you for being here today, because it takes all of us. As Bob Warden said, it takes all of us. It takes a village. And as you pointed out, we're the youngest county in the state. Average age is 25 years old. Along with that comes the responsibility that we have a lot of children in this county that have gone through adverse situations. They've been traumatized by abuse and so forth. And Don Rochelle and One Place are the ones, along with Chief Yaniero and others, that pick up those pieces for those children. The Bible talks about we need to take care of the least of these, and that's those children that have been through these abusive situations. If we didn't have you all, I don't know what we would do. Because those children, if they don't get the love and care and the counseling that they need when this happens, they go through life with all those scars and they take it into adulthood. So it's very important that we catch them at an early age and do what we can to assist them and love them and care for them. So I'm just glad to be a part of working for Onslow County. I know that when I first ran for an office, I met with a businessman, I won't call his name, and he gave me a little index card. And it was blank on the back side. And he sort of interviewed me to see if he wanted to support me. He said, Phil, I want you to go to Raleigh and I want you to work for Onslow County. I want you to work for the people in Onslow County. And he took that card and handed it to me. He says, what you see on the back side of this? He said, we've had people to go to Raleigh and this is what they brought back to Onslow County. Nothing. He said, before I support you, I want you to tell me that you'll work as hard as possible to help Onslow County. So that's been my number one goal, is to always to try to make a difference for people in Onslow County, whether it's our children in One Place. For other communities have YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs and so on and so forth, and they're very vital to our community. And we can't do a lot of this by ourselves here in our community. We don't have sometimes the money that other counties and communities have, but there is money in Raleigh. Sometimes when we're doing well and our budget is like it should be, then we have money that we can apply for. Don and others came to Raleigh and we met with Speaker Moore and we lobbied for this money. I think it was $8 million we got last budget, and this time we were able to get $3.5 million to finish what our commitment was to the budget. But if it wasn't for you knocking on the door and being willing to come and lobby for the money that we've got, and this past year I think we've got about $60 million in the budget for Onslow County. My thoughts are, if Mecklenburg County and Wake County are getting their share, I want Onslow County to get their share. And I'm going to continue to work for Onslow County and programs like this, because I want us to have what everybody else has. And I want us to have all the recreational facilities we can have for our children. I want us to have a convention center one day here in Onslow County. We need one badly. Youngest county in the state. We have to go out of the county to a concert. We have to go to other places for venues. So that is something that I'm going to be committed to in the future. And I appreciate every one of you and all that you do and all that you do for this community, because you've always been there for Onslow County. And thank you, Don, once again. God bless, guys.
Thank you, Representative Sheppard. And again, it takes all levels of government, and we're spending this time this morning to really recognize our partners, because as a military community, it's so much of who we are. We do want to recognize the federal support that has been present in our work and in this project. Our congressional delegation remains busy with the county's business, or the country's business, made all the more busy with the events of this past weekend abroad. As a physician, Congressman Greg Murphy completely understands what we do and what is needed to support trauma in children. He stays connected to what we do, and while he could not be with us today, his staff are present, and Cody Brown joining us as one of his field representatives, I believe. So thank you, Cody, for being here and for always being present if we need anything. So thank you. Senator Tom Tillis understands the needs of our military families. He and his wife Susan have spent countless hours serving the needs of our local communities. His staff visit us and are present on calls to understand our community more and connect us with additional resources as we move forward in this project and our services. Thank you to Adam Caldwell for being with us today. He's right over here. And for your work for Onslow County and our military families. We appreciate you. While I have not seen a representative of Senator Budd's office this morning, Senator Ted Budd and his staff have made a point to stay connected with us. They want to ensure that we know of resources, and they want us to know their belief in the work that we do. Washington can feel like a world away. However, we are proud of the support that we have from our current congressional delegation, and we hope to see that it continues, because again, it takes a village. Thank you. So being elected is just not an easy job, and we appreciate all that everyone does. Have I missed anyone? Speak now. Somebody call it out. All right. Because you know how it feels to stand up here and you miss somebody. All right. So, having business support began in earnest when our Chief Advancement Officer saw a need. Anne Marie Raymond serves as the Chief Advancement Officer for One Place. That means money. That means money. And advancing the mission and the cause. With her leadership, and because of so many donors that she will talk about in a moment, this project is possible. As I said, we have to have the advocacy, we have to have government, and now Anne Marie is going to talk to us about our business and philanthropy support.
Oh, this is the day the Lord has made. The Greek root of philanthropy is translated as loving people. I would like to begin with gratitude to my father, who is here today, who brought me to this community 42 years ago. Being a military child in Onslow County taught me what a devoted community does. You love people. My daughter reminded me of how this community has helped to mold her, as she came home after eating at a restaurant last night and took her birthday money back to her waitress, who she quoted would spend it better than she would. That is loving people. When I think of a business that loves people, it is Sanders Ford. Even as a child, before I was part of the family, I knew they were a business that supported the community and had a huge love for the military. Most people would think that because Matt and I are married, that I would be his choice of philanthropy. It was his leadership at the dealership that pioneered for One Place to be the gift of choice. Several employees had a personal connection to knowing or being a victim of abuse, and they thought that the right thing to do was to give to One Place. Sanders Ford is our lead donor, not only for our annual community event, Diamonds and Denim, but also our lead donor for the Capitol campaign. Thank you, Sanders Ford, for loving this community like you do. There are so many businesses and donors in this community who always show up for us. We are deeply appreciative of how you are part of our mission and our vision for the future. We would certainly not be here today without you. One Place is a special place, and the reason why it is so special is because of our staff. Our staff are not only dedicated to the services they provide, but they are also dedicated to giving back. I am so proud to say that One Place staff have 100% staff giving. This means we are living a culture of philanthropy as we say One Place is our place. Thank you, staff. Sitting around a table in 2018, we were approaching our 20th year as a nonprofit and having a conversation. What are we for and what are we known for? We are proud of our work and we are always called to do more. Knowing that preventing and ending child abuse will likely not end in any of our lifetime, how can we ensure One Place will continue to exist and serve our children and families long past us? We knew that rent of our current space was a large expenditure, and we knew that the space was not flexible or would meet our needs long term. But what did we need? Well, Dawn asked, anyone know an architect? Well, I did. Who would have known that here we would be looking at a state-of-the-art home that has been designed to restore hope in families that have been hurt, fractured, and feel disconnected. Every design element has used emerging science to support children and families and community partners exposed to traumatic events. Think about what you need and you look for when you are going for a medical and mental health treatment. As humans, we look for spaces where we feel safe. And through research, we know that environment does matter. We have with us today the architect that I called that day that just happens to be from Onslow County. Trip Beecham and BB&M Architecture, with his team on the project, Carrie Sykes and Mike Harris, and his design team, who spends a lot of time with us, Kelly, Jill, and Faye. Thank you for taking a chance on us. We cannot be more grateful and proud to have you design this project. Playbook Management is our owner's representative, which basically means they manage Dawn and I. They are our air traffic controller to ensure that this project runs efficiently, on budget, and on time. Mike Grippo and Carl Godman are happy to see this day as we are. Thank you for being here. Our civil engineers are Summit Design. Aaron Hutchins and his team have been integral to the foundation of this project. The healing gardens that will surround this project are also a design element from this team. Thank you to you and your team. Kendall and McKinley Building. This team exemplifies hope. They believed in us years ago when we first met Kendall and he learned about what we were envisioning, having no idea that our paths would cross again. All of the McKinley team are just good humans. They encourage us, they keep our vision and cost, and we appreciate you so much, McKinley team. So they are all the building, and now we need money. Having connected with State Employees Credit Union in 2008 about our need of space as we originally expanded with the Child Advocacy Center, they understood our drive to support children and families. In 2019, the State Employees Credit Union Foundation came alongside of our vision with a mission capacity grant. We had to align some internal work and make some hard decisions. You can't do this type of work alone, and they connected us until we were ready with the first investment from the General Assembly. It was then that the State Employees Credit Union Foundation made their first substantial capital gift in Onslow County to name our permanent home the SECU Hope Center in 2022. Thank you for that. We have representatives from the SECU Foundation with us. Any SECU members in our audience today? That $1 in your statement each month that you give to the SECU Foundation represents the power of $1. Because of you, they were able to invest in us. Scott Southern serves as our grants officer, and Dan Gerlach serves as our SECU Foundation consultant. These two have put up with a lot of calls and a lot of questions, and we are deeply appreciative of your guidance. I will now invite Jama Campbell, the SECU Foundation Executive Director, to give remarks.
Thank you. You know, it is so exciting to be here today. Anne-Marie talked a little bit about the journey to get here for SECU Foundation. You know, for any of you who know anything about us, we're a large credit union. We're in every county in North Carolina. We think it's important to invest in every county in North Carolina. And we get a lot of requests from all over the state of North Carolina. But our folks at our local SECU branch, Jamie Applequist, had been talking with this group since 2008. And that's how a lot of our partnerships through the foundation begin, is knowing folks in the community, because we are community-based. And so we want to know, what are those greatest needs? How can we help in any way? And that long conversation that we had over the years really culminated in a capacity building grant to kind of help you guys, already being a very strong organization, kind of understand the need of how you want to grow and sustain, especially moving into a capital campaign. That was a small gift at that time, but I think that was a really powerful gift because it really helped you all envision the future. We call that a gift that we give for folks who want to dream and dream to do more. We really want to thank Dan Gerlach, who has worked with us for many years on our capacity building grants, offering amazing advice to organizations just like One Place. But that was just that was a wonderful opportunity to begin working with you all. And then to have the opportunity to come back with a $2 million gift for this capital campaign meant so much to us, because you all exemplify our motto of people helping people. We want to work with organizations that are serving their communities. When I look at what you all do, you fill in all the gaps. You are just incredibly important to this community and really to this region, and really, to me, are a guiding light for other organizations serving children and families. So I cannot be happier to represent over 2.7 million members of SECU in giving this gift and working with all these other wonderful state and federal and other foundations and collaborating on this project. We're so proud to have the opportunity to partner with y'all. Thank you.
Not used for talking this long. Thank you, Jama. We recall when you and a group came and we stood over there in that parking lot across the road explaining this project, and here we are. Thank you again, and everyone who believes in the power of $1. Speaking of dollars, we have some exciting news today, as this event not only launches construction, it also celebrates that we are at the point in our capital campaign that we are announcing our public phase. Our community campaign is just that. It is our local donors who choose to invest in our hope and our vision. Our campaign cabinet are legacy contributors to this community, and I would like to recognize them by name. Co-chairs Mike and Phil Yaniero, co-chairs Bob and Karen Dickerson, they couldn't be here today, George and Rosie Jones, Billy and Julie Sewell, Joel and Felicia Churchwell. I saw Joel smiling over there. Jeb and Sean Brown. Christy Hill and Adam Locklear. I see Christy over there. My husband Matt and I. And Henry and Don Rochelle. This group of tremendous souls, partnered with our staff and consultants, have led gifts to date that allow us to announce today that we are, drumroll please, 76% of funds raised. This represents what we have always known, that Onslow County is a giving community, especially for our children. We aren't done yet. We need your help to reach our goal so that services are sustainable past all of us. Someone who continues to push us and support us and say, well, you could, but you might want to think about this. The Director of Public Safety for the city, Chief Mike Yaniero. Chief may have been the only person who understood the concept of a child advocacy center when he came to our community in 2004, having just served in Bristol, Tennessee, where he had worked as a detective with the CAC and without. He quickly became the voice that we needed for our children. Having served on the One Place board for a number of years, his leadership for us all is an example of faith, family, and service. Please help me in welcoming Chief Yaniero.
So like Bob, I have a script to say, but I'm gonna throw that out because really this is about hope for these children. You know, as a young detective, I remember working child abuse and neglect cases, and I remember the impact it had on those kids. In fact, I remember one child that I worked that case grew up and committed a homicide. And so, you know, this center will stop those things from happening. What it will give us is breaking the cycle of violence, the cycle of domestic violence, the cycle of child abuse. And it's so important in our community to do that because children are our most important asset. And so this center gives us that hope. It gives us the opportunity to break that cycle of violence, to break those cycles, and to make our children's lives and everyone's lives much better. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's participated in this project. It's been a journey. And I was so excited the other day when I saw them moving some brush. Never in my life I thought I would be excited about seeing moving brush. But it is a reality, and we're excited about the impact that it will have on our community and the future, that future generations will be better in our community because of what everybody here has done to make our community a better place to live. So I want to thank everybody and look forward to the ribbon cutting in 18 months.
So we want to recognize not only Chief Yaniero for his service to the One Place Board, but we have some other board members that are with us today that none of this would be possible without a governing board who says yes, and we might need to think about this, and sometimes no, right? So Julia Collins, the chair of the One Place Board with program oversight, would you please write? She is one of our longest serving board members, if not the longest serving board members. And so Julia, if you would stand by Ann, because we're going to recognize the unveiling in just a moment. We also have some others that have been mentioned that are with us: Reverend Joel Churchwell, Mary Hendrickson, Elizabeth Thomas, Daisy Haywood, Jeb Brown, Michael Brown, not related. Emily Sabu, Ro Holcomb. We also have some past board members who were planning to join us, Marla Talley and Peggy Garner. Have I missed any board members that came up? And Jennifer Kellum. Yay! Again, all of you have served on boards. We have one of the most complex funding structures I think they can all attest to. Also, because of the public oversight that we have to have for all of these dollars that people entrust. They're your dollars, they're our tax dollars, and we take that really seriously, and therefore our board has a lot of hours in reading a lot of documents. So will you join me in thanking our board of directors? So as we've worked alongside of all of you, it is our hope that you will continue to drive past and see the work continue, but also to think about the reason why this center is needed. It shouldn't have to be. And we all have to work for that day. We all must work for that day. Until then, to have a state-of-the-art facility that our children don't have to drive to other communities, that can be a beacon of hope for those who want to serve our children as professionals, and we can continue to create jobs. We can continue to create child mental health services and medical services so that if any child is hurt, they know that they can be helped. You're all a part of this journey, and we are just so excited for the next steps. So I'm going to ask Anne-Marie to come back up and lead us in the unveiling.
In closing, please take some time to visit our staff at the tables and learn more about One Place. We would also love for you to take a moment to write a note of encouragement to the future children and families of Onslow County. We'll save them in the new building with plans to open them in 20 years. I would also like everyone to get a coin of hope, a coin of commitment. With that, let's officially launch this construction project for the SECU Hope Center, the home of One Place.
This means the dirt's really moving.
So everyone, let's count down from 5. 5, 4,